All right, welcome to week 12 of the 12-week lead generation series. We're going to wrap it up, Steve.
We'll
We'll
wrap it
wrap it
up.
We're
up.
going
We'll wrap it
to,
up. We'll wrap it up.
all right, we got some mute going on.
Yeah,
All right,
everybody
so
get
like we have been doing for the last 12 weeks, we've been on this lead generation series. And within this, I have all 12 weeks here on my school platform, and obviously I'll add the 12th right here. But really what I have focused on is relating what we're doing as realtors to permission marketing. I think it is a key part to what we need to do as realtors. It's not just about closing transactions. Steve, my opinion is that when you close a transaction, you have developed the know, like, and trust.
I would say so.
And so many of us, we lose sight of that. We get so focused on, I have to list a property, I have to sell a property, I have to represent my buyer, I have to do these things. Yes, we do all these things, but you're only able to do those if somebody knows you, likes you, and trusts you. And so within that space, why would you, after closing on a transaction, not want to continue to develop that relationship? And this is something I never realized. I never realized it. And when I read this book on permission marketing, it really opened my eyes. And so I recommend everybody go in. Seth here has a blog, he has a podcast, and he just has very relevant information, content when it comes to what we do as realtors. And it is using his principles combined with this platform is what I focused on for this 12-week series. Brent's team came to me at the end of last year and said, Alex, to kick off 2025, let's look at how we can generate leads using this platform. And I did that under the principles of developing the know, like, and trust through permission marketing. And so that's been my focus throughout this. And I got to tell you, along the way, I've realized some things myself in going through this process with everybody and trying to put this series together. And it's really brought my focus in more, focus on the content I create and the messaging I'm putting out there. We as realtors need to put ourselves out there as the absolute expert to our database. It's not just about going and doing an open house and seeing if we can get a closing. When someone signs up at your open house, you now have the ability to show them that you're the absolute expert and develop that relationship. So that's what I focused on through this. And I started out with week 1 on the essentials. What do you need to do first to get started? I got to tell you, I'm doing a lot of one-on-one coaching, and I'm spending the first couple of sessions just getting people logged in and set up. It is amazing to me how many of us can't log in to our social media accounts.
Hey now.
Can't log into our KV Core.
Hey now.
Yeah, it's crazy what goes on, but this is an issue that we all have. And I want to tell you that if you're looking at an agent and you have them up there on the Mount Rushmore of agents that you look up to, I want to tell you that they have the same struggles that you have when you're not, if you don't look at yourself in the same light. So in that space, just know that we're all dealing with these same struggles. And in week 1, I go in and give you an overview of what you need to do just to get started.
Quick question.
Yeah.
How does someone that wants to go through our 12 weeks find the Bold Trail Academy?
We're on the Bold Trail Academy in the school platform right here.
You could throw in the QR code and we
And
take
so
a picture.
if you want to be a member, I go here and I copy this, and then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to put it in the chat. And this is the link to join. Okay. But what I'm doing is I'm putting it all on the school platform because it's the best way I can really get my messaging out there and organize the information. Within that, I have these community chats. And when we talked about the open house app, I went ahead and put the links to the open house app right in there. I did a posting social listing prompt. It's in there. Writing an SEO article. It's in there. So I'm trying to build value by delivering you the tools you need to implement these things I'm talking about here, to be that presence of mind agent, absolute expert in your market. So we covered that in week 1. I'll go back to my classroom. And this is my week 1. I went into landing pages. Within the landing pages, I think that we all should commit to having these landing pages done. And when you build them, you can then go and put them as a direct link to your website. This one I need to work on a little bit. It's a little bit rough. FSBO starter kit. Go out there, and for anyone that wants to do a FSBO, here's your starter kit. You can go do a FSBO. Why would I put that out there? What percentage of FSBOs end up going with an agent?
All of them.
Almost all of them, like 90%. So, hey, let's go out there and give everybody the keys to doing a FSBO, knowing that you're going to build yourself up to be an absolute expert in that arena. I inherited properties. These are all landing pages that I've put together with lead capture at the bottom.
Now, quick question. When you're building these landing pages, because this is an overview, everybody, we want you to go back to the school platform and go into the Bold Trail and review these. But when you build a landing page or a squeeze page, talk to the team about being evergreen. The more you put them out there, the bigger your digital net.
Yeah, no, it's a great point that you bring up. As you can see, these are all direct links that I now have on my website. And once you put them together, they're, like Steve said, they're evergreen. They're always there. And you can go in and edit them. Like I showed you one of my first ones I did. And I leave it up here to show you. I mean, this is rough. I need to go back and redo this, but I can go back and edit it. As I learn more about the platform, as I expand, as I know more about the direct buyer program, I'll go in and redo this.
I have a quick question, and I may not know the answer, and it may not be, but since we all now have an advanced Canva membership through EXP,
Oh, yeah.
can we take the Canva tool and combine it with this and build something really special?
So I think I need to do a special series just on Canva. I use Canva to do all of my graphics for the Bold Trail series. Canva's made putting these graphics together just so much easier. And I've learned along the way. We now have this subscription to Canva through EXP, and when I'm doing these graphics, what they are is they're the thumbnail. And when you understand how important a thumbnail is to capturing people's attention, there is a blogger out there that is in the automotive space, Cletus McFarland. I don't know if anyone's looked him up, but his top viewed video ever was some of his worst content, but it was the thumbnail that drew people in. So when you go out there and put together your video content, whatever it is, just know that you should probably do the thumbnail first, because without a good thumbnail, people most likely aren't going to be compelled to go in there and watch your video. So yeah, the Canva is, for me, it's a game changer. I'm still experimenting with it. But these are the different ways I've used it. The open house thumbnail. Oh, it didn't come up. I'll have to go and re-look at that. There it is. That was done with Canva. But yeah, I'll go and do a series on the Canva. Really cool way of doing it. What was your question?
You answered it.
Okay, good. So within this space, we looked at landing pages. I just showed you the ones I'm using right now. And with these landing pages, you go out there, and for me, they're on my Google business page as direct links. Whatever landing pages you create, you go and put them on your Google business page. You put them on your social platforms, and you don't just put them out there once, you put them out there like every month. Because in real estate, you have to tell people you're an agent. You have to remind people you're an agent, and then you got to tell people that you're an agent.
And you should send them a card that you're an agent.
That's right. That's right. And so we covered that in landing pages. Again, with landing pages, going back to permission marketing, landing pages, you're going out there and giving them information, enticing them to give you their contact information. That's what a landing page does. Squeeze pages, we covered this. I think squeeze pages is probably one of the more clever tools that you can use within the platform. But you can put together a special website in a matter of minutes where you could have all the open houses in Placer County. You could have all the equestrian properties. You could look at homes over $1 million, price reductions in certain categories. You can do all this with squeeze pages, and you can, again, put it on your social. You can blog about it. You can put it on your Google business page. All of these actions increase your visibility out there and make you the absolute expert. And that's what we covered in the squeeze pages. Social media, after doing the 16 minutes on social media, I'm going to go back and do a series on social media in general and looking at each of the platforms. I want to bring some people in this office that are doing Facebook better than I am, or Instagram better than I am, and really expand on this to show you how to use the tools in the platform to better leverage your social media. The text coding lead capture. This gets a little more granular. When you get into text coding, you really have to be able to understand the platform a lot better. But again, it goes back to permission marketing. If people are responding to your text offer, like I had a response this morning of get list. Well, I know exactly where it came from. It came from a Craigslist post, and they're looking for distressed real estate. So that lead came in this morning. I'm like, cool. I have a get list. It's a new client, and I had a smart campaign trigger from that. And the guy's already looking at property through my website. And this, I covered this in the call and text capture. Property Boost. So Property Boost, again, we're advertising on Facebook, and it's new listings. Like Steve has a new listing in Citrus Heights, beautiful property.
We're going to boost it today.
He's going to boost that property today. He can anticipate having 10 to 15 leads come in from that boost. I did a boost last week. I had 7 leads come in, and those leads are coming into the KV core. Smart campaigns are being triggered. And I am very careful with the permission I've been given, because once they sign up, you're given permission to go and market to them. It's very important not to oversaturate your leads. And I covered that throughout this. But with Property Boost, again, you're getting that permission. The other thing with Property Boost that's important is digital domination of your farm. Steve, you want to speak into that a little bit?
Yeah, if you're going to be effective about doing property boosts, yes, do your own listings. But in the event you're going to have multiple property boosts, they really all should be in one farm area, because then the system's going to put you top of mind with that group of people in that area. So try to focus in one zip code, even if particular neighborhood, if you're going to be using the property boost feature.
Yeah, so expanding on that a little bit further, if you want to be a Citrus Heights real estate agent, if you want to be Orangevale, if you want to be Fair Oaks, go in there and concentrate your activities, your property boosts, your open houses. Maybe you have a farm that you're focused on. Do it all in that same neighborhood, that same zip code, that same city, And that way the KV Core platform builds up data within that area, and you become the area expert. When you sit down at a listing appointment and it's in say Antelope, and you've been focusing on Antelope, and you say, look, Mr. Seller, I have 15 clients in Antelope right now. They're looking for property. I have 15 buyers. It's going to give you an advantage as a listing agent. And you could likely sell the house and maybe represent both sides and maybe earn more money from it. But that's what we talk about within Property Boost. The email campaigns. We go over the email campaigns, and again, got to be careful with the email campaigns because you can quickly over communicate with your client list. You can send them too many emails. What we really like to say is that when you're going in and communicating with your database, I'll just go and show real quick with my demo. You really want to be careful. Let's look at Vince Neal. Vince Neal's not my client, but I like Vince Neal. With Vince Neal, you have the ability to turn on automations. In this case, I have a alert for listings in Granite Bay over $3 million. Vince Neal has opted out of email. We can see that by this is grayed out. But if he was in the email, I could send him a listing valuation and I could send him a market report. Those are 3 emails that are sent out. Listings are sent out according to whatever schedule you put them on, at least once a week. The market report's sent out monthly. The listing evaluation sent out monthly. And then if you're doing a weekly email update like I do, think about how many times I'm contacting each one of those clients with these updates. My point is that with the automations within the system, you just have to be careful you don't oversaturate. And I cover that in the week 7 when we're talking about the email campaigns. You can create custom campaigns. I'm working with several agents right now, and we're creating custom campaigns. And it goes back to what kind of agent are you? And you think about that messaging that you're putting out there, you relate it to that permission marketing, building yourself up as the expert, and start thinking about how to create those campaigns.
Now, a comment from one of the people, John, on the chat says he's used Property Boost but didn't get any leads. So my main question is, how is he working those leads? Because they're internet leads. You got to learn how to nurture them and work them. They're different breeds. So what you're doing is you're building up more people in your system, and then you can identify them. You can go to different websites, John, like RedX and different platforms to get the information. You'll be able to communicate if you learn how to work those leads.
So is it didn't generate any leads, or he didn't convert any leads?
I'm not clear. He just was unhappy with the results, but there's more to the equation on the Property Boost. So if it is a technique you're going to use, you need to learn the other sites so you can capture all the data.
Yeah, and the other thing that I point out in the Property Boost when we get granular in that presentation is that you have to look at the property that you're boosting and where it is in the market. And so to go a little deeper, I had an agent come to me that boosted a property in a rural area of Sacramento where the median home price is about $400,000. This property was listed over $1 million. I think it was $1.2 million. So you're at the very, very top of the market. You're not going to capture that many leads. You don't have $1 million buyers in this certain market of Sacramento. If he would have boosted a property in the median price range, $400,000, well, you have a lot more buyers looking in that $400,000 price range. So
yeah, and I'm going to comment too. It's a digital dominating approach to your neighborhood.
Correct.
So the boost has multiple things that it's doing for your KV Core. So when people do register, they go onto a campaign. So then you're now seeing their activities. Some people put in their Mickey Mouse as a phone number, but the reality is we can get that contact information.
Yeah.
And what it's doing is you're more frequent in that particular area. So you're going to be seen on the social sites along with the Property Boost. you'll use the different individual property websites that you post on your social media. All of it works together. It sounds like John's in Canada. So maybe the problem with you, John, is you did hit a particular property that wasn't, let's say, a lot of eyeballs looking at it.
Yeah.
And you got to use your common sense when you're doing the property boosts. You guys, we all know a great listing. And that great listing is going to get some eyeballs.
Yeah.
So look for the ones you know have all the characteristics. That's the one you invest your money in.
Yeah. No, that's my point exactly.
But we appreciate the criticism too, because we want to overcome these with everybody and show you how to use the system.
Exactly. Exactly. Week 8, we went into market reports. We have the listing valuation and the market reports. I went in and showed you the difference between the two and how to use them. And it goes back to being the absolute expert. So for me, this afternoon, when I leave here, I'm going to go home and I'm going to do my weekly market report. Using the market report, I'm going to do a Zoom clip video, and I'm just going to go on and explain that, hey, this is what's going on this week in our market. And I don't overthink it. I just go into the market reports and put the video out there. So I covered that in week 8. IDX and SEO. Boy, if I had $1 for every time someone calls me and says, I'm going to get your ranking on Google, I could just retire from real estate. And I bring that up because I always think of the amount of money that Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, that they spend to rank on Google. I mean, their budget to rank on Google is in probably the hundreds of millions. And my stance on that is that unless I want to have a similar marketing budget, I'm probably never going to rank on page 1 of Google. But what I can do is go in and work on my IDX compatible website and put information out there on my Google business page, put it out there on social so that I rank better than most. It is a long-term commitment that you make. For me, I have a content schedule, and by the time Friday rolls around, I'm a little bit worn out by my content schedule because, you know, you as agents, to really fully embrace where we are in the digital age of real estate, you have to have a schedule that every day of the week you're consistent with putting out content. You know, if you know on Monday, I'm going to put out a blog post. On Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to post on social something about real estate that makes me the expert. Sometimes I've done a video post on Instagram about the blog post I did on Monday. With our website and what KV Core Bold Trail has to offer, you can put these IDX compatible, or I should say integrated websites and pages out there on your multiple platforms. And if people are interested in it, they click on it and they go right back to your website. And that's what I cover in week 9.
Yeah, and we just had a question from Thomas March. Thomas, thanks for your question. I just posted the Bold Trail School Academy link, so please just click that and join. We'll let you in, and this is where you're going to find all the training in the classroom section.
Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it all in there so that and more content is coming. Now, Steve and I owe you guys from week 10. What we're working on right now is putting together a checklist of how to do an open house and putting a value next to each of those different actions you can take to maximize the effect of the open house. I remember when I got started in real estate, I'd switched over from being a loan officer for 15 years to being a realtor. And Steve was my mentor. And I remember my very first open house, I was complete train wreck. I didn't have my flyers.
Okay, you did
I was an hour late opening it. I remember I called Steve. Going to the open house, like, Steve, I'm late. This whole thing is falling. He's like, dude, you just got to go do it. Okay. You guys, you just have to go do it. But when you're doing those open houses, reflect on yourself and say, okay, what can I do better? I bring this up because with KV Core, you have the open house app. It's very important that you understand the features within the open house app that feed into your KV Core. If you're going for digital domination of your farm, you're doing open houses in your farm area. As those clients come into your open house and they register, they get recorded into your KV Core. And then the specifics of the property that you're holding open are integrated into their profile. And then when you go in and you're looking at these different listings, like I'll go into listings, let's go to Roseville, and I'll show you what I mean by this. Here's a listing. I want 164. Here's one. It was listed on the 19th. And I want to go to matching buyers. How many matching buyers do I have? I have 3. So I have 3 matching buyers. The system knows this because their property profile has those property characteristics integrated into it. So if you're using the open house app and you could choose to put their information in for them, or you can have them, like I just hand a tablet and say, hey, do you mind just signing into the open house? You want to get, number one, it gives you permission. We all need permission to market these days, but more importantly is it integrates back into the app. And so we cover that. I think it's, again, if you're going to do an open house, you go out there and you walk the neighborhood, you drop the flyers, you invite the neighbors in, you put out as many signs, open house signs as possible. See what else you do. You have your flyers printed up.
Well, I like to actually print everything within a mile and a 1-line CMA on the back of my flyer.
Yeah.
Because it's a great conversation piece. When someone comes in the house, I'm able to actually do 2 things. I want to introduce myself and get their name. And when I get their name, you got to say it back. We all forget people's names. So you just make sure you learn it. But I like to have the printed 1-line CMAs on the back of my flyer. So when that customer turns and walks down the hall, I can greet them by their name. I say, hey, Alex. And they'll turn around and say, on the back of that flyer. So it's just something for me to give a little more value.
And so now you take that same flyer and you put a QR code to a squeeze page that has the same listings. And then you also do a property boost for that open house. And you do it a week before and you property boost the open house. And within that property boost, you're inviting people to your open house. And as people register for the open house, they go into your KV Core. These are all the technologies that we can implement to just do open houses better. But don't get bogged down with it. If you're intimidated by all this, the important thing is just to go out and do an open house. And then if you want to go to the next level and have the technology integrated, we can show you how to do that. Because at the end of the day, our goal is to capture as many leads as possible and start building the relationship through the permission that we've received as they register.
So we're right at the top of the 30 minutes and we've got several people asking some questions. So what we're going to do is we're going to conclude where we're at right now, you guys, and then we're going to reopen it up for 15 minutes of Q&A. And John, we'll go ahead and address the questions you have about the vanity domain and the different QR code questions, Thomas, that you have. So hold those. We'll answer those in